My wife recently flipped out on a plane ride.
LTAT. Good mythical morning.
Thank you for joining us today. Just chill out. This is gonna be fine. No need to get anxious. Don't wig out on us. That's a little premonition of what's gonna happen.
You made me get nervous when you said that.
Really?
You incited anxiety into me.
Huh. Well, I think we can explore the nature of that. Over 25 million Americans, if you're not American, even better, you probably still experience the same thing. That is a fear of flying. Second only to fear of public speaking in terms of just the proclivity of people being fearful of it.
The second most common fear is fear of flying next to public speaking?
I'm not prepared to go that far, but that is what I just said.
What about public speaking while flying? The pilot does that every time.
Oh man, that's why he gets paid so much, man.
He's nervous.
That's why there's so much school. Pilots have to go to more school than medical doctors. That's probably not true either.
Yep.
But I mean, odds are I'm speaking to some of you out there who are afraid of flying. If my wife is watching, Christy, as you know, you are afraid of flying. So let me just relay an experience I had. Coming back from the holidays, we traveled by plane.
Oh, I did too.
It's a wide country. I prefer to cross it in a plane. Just get it over with. We took a direct flight. I mean, we're bringing 3 kids with us everywhere we travel. I want to get it over with as quickly as possible. And I'm not afraid of flying in the least. But my wife is with me, and that's another factor. Here's what typically happens. We have to sit in the back of the plane because when you have 5 people who want to sit together, I don't know if you want to buy the tickets or whatever. We're in the back of the plane.
No, it's alphabetical.
No, it's not. Back of the plane is a horrible place to be if you don't like turbulence or if you don't like being near a restroom.
Ooh, was it one of those where the only restroom is in the back?
It was in this case. So Christy already knew this was not gonna be a good trip even though it was a direct flight. So it's 1 flight instead of 2. That's the silver lining.
Okay.
What I do, and you know this, when I get on a flight, I just conk out.
Go to sleep.
I just have the power to just.
And then your mouth opens. When your mouth opens, I know that's when you're not faking anymore. And that's when I start getting strangers to put things in there.
Sometimes I open my mouth in order to make myself fall asleep.
Really?
I've got it down to that much of a science.
Well, I think you're onto something there.
But here's what happens. It's happened more than one occasion, but it happened again at this particular time. I'm asleep, and all of a sudden I'm being shook. It's like, Link. Christy's waking me up, and I'm kind of mad. When you're being woken up, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then I see this look in her eye, and it's like she's having a near-death experience. And so she says to me, I need you to talk to me. And I'm like, what? I'm like groggy, I don't know what's going on.
She wants to connect.
No, she says, I think I'm really anxious right now. I think I'm on the verge of a panic attack. I really need to talk to you right now.
Has this happened before?
Second time it's happened. So I'm waking up, a couple of kids.
What do you do?
So I'm like,
how you doing?
Hey.
What do you want me to talk about?
So I'm like, what are you afraid of? What, you think the plane's gonna crash or something?
Not to plant any thoughts in your head.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I guess that I was being a jerk. So I'm just like, and then
you were taunting her?
No, I wasn't taunting her. I was just trying to make light of it in order to make her feel a little bit better. But that didn't work. Actually mentioning plane crash didn't work. Her eyes got bigger. I could see that she was sweating.
Oh, really? This is bad.
And
I didn't know this happened. I knew she didn't like it, but I didn't know it would manifest itself in a physical reaction.
And she was like, do you feel that? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's just a little turbulence. Just kind of go with it. Open your mouth. Maybe you'll fall asleep. And then she threw up.
Ooh, into the bag?
No, she got up and went to the bathroom, which was right around the bin. We were in the last seat, so it's like, bloop, bloop. All of a sudden, she gets up, and then I'm like, she comes back. She's like, I threw up.
You couldn't hear it, though.
No, I couldn't hear it. It wasn't heaving and heaving. She was ready. It's just happened. And I heard the flush. The flush is really loud.
I don't think I could even throw up because you think about when I go into one of those restrooms, I can't sit down because they're so tiny. I can't fold myself. So if I went into the thing, it would just be like a waterfall.
Well, that's why they had the bags.
Clear my stick my head out a little bit to get it to. Wow.
So she comes back and she sits back down, and I'm like, "Do you feel better?" And I'm like,
"Oh, she's already asleep again." No, you're already asleep.
No, but she said, "I feel a little bit better," and like I just started talking to her. I like took her mind off it, talked about something else, but I feel like I was very inadequate in my, I mentioned the crash, but even beyond that, I was inadequate in my ability to help her deal with her fear of flying. So I started looking into it.
But did you joke a little bit? The only reason I asked that.
I joked about the plane. I was like, "What do you think? It's not like the plane's gonna crash."
I did this. I've told you this story before, but my mother-in-law has a really large fear of flying, and we were on a puddle jumper.
Well, she was in a plane crash.
And she was in a plane crash, so she has a legitimate fear. Right. And she was really scared. We were in this little plane, and I started joking with her, and she scratched my face. Like she was behind us. She was behind. My wife and I were here, and then my mother and father-in-law were in the seats behind us. And then I was like, "Everything's gonna be okay. I mean, this plane is like the size of a boat," or and then she went, tried to and she was out of control, and she has long fingernails, and it went right. So I had a scratch the whole week.
And you deserve it, and you know what? I deserved it. Christy should have scratched me, but I think she was so discombobulated that she couldn't do it. But upon reflection, I think we all recognize that I deserve to be better, and that's why I did some research. There's some common things besides just going to taking Xanax that you can do that maybe are better than that. Like, first of all, a lot of the reading I did said you got to pinpoint what you're fearful about so you can address it. There's plenty of things you can be scared about. She doesn't like being closed up. She doesn't like thinking about crashing. Losing control is very maddening for her. And then
you are at the mercy of other people and other machinery.
But they also say educate yourself. If you know the facts that 10 million.
Read the safety book.
1 in 10 million die in a plane crash versus 1 in 5,000 in a car crash. But that doesn't really help. After that, it's like, okay, bring a picture or have a picture on your phone of your destination so you can think about it. They say to do that. They say to breathe deeply and then watch a movie or read a book that you're already involved in. So, things that are pretty obvious. Yeah. But the one thing that I found that I think is great is the rubber band technique. This one guy in a blog I found said that he wears a rubber band, and then whenever he feels a panic attack coming on or something like that, he will pop himself with the rubber band, and if you snap it against your skin, apparently the reality bite will take your mind off of the turbulence, will take your mind off of whatever it is that you're fixating on, and give you this pain that you can focus on. So I was like, okay, this will work. From now on, I am going to, when my wife wakes me up and she's having a panic attack, I'm going to shoot her with rubber bands.
I don't think that's going to go well.
But it was in a blog.
I don't like that punishing yourself with little rubber band spanks.
It seems kind of gimmicky.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm obviously not going to shoot rubber bands in my life.
I can't take somebody seriously if they're
sitting
on a plane going.
It seems like you got some weird kind of
I'd rather be panicky than crazy. You know what I mean? All right. You know what time it is.
I'm Stephanie from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
And I'm Brooke from Batesville, Arkansas. Happy New Year!
It's time to spin the wheel of mythicality!
I'm glad your wife was not on the plane that we took from California, North Carolina. I will tell you what happened on my plane in Good Mythical More. Quite a story.
Okay, we got another Ear Biscuits coming out later today. As you know, our audio-only podcast where we talk to somebody interesting from the internet. This week, Michael Stevens from Vsauce.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
the guy from Vsauce?
Great conversation. You really get to know him as a person. iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud. Look for the links.
See a ghost.
What a great episode, Rhett. Well, I'm just going to bask in this,
Hey.
What?
Do you see that? Do you feel that? Oh, he disappeared.
I feel like he saw something.
Look back at me. Oh, there he is again.
What? He's what?
Look back. Every time you turn around, he disappears. I thought I was seeing a ghost, but I think I'm just seeing you.
What? Every time I turn this way, I disappear?
Your face goes away. Yeah. When you turn at me, there you are. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-pilot George is 3 sheets to the wind, and I'm going to be doing this one solo. If anything happens to me, if you have any flying experience,